to about first. So you had to explain about Paul Laurence Dunbar.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't understand the age in which Paul Laurence Dunbar is writing. See, he's writing in the slavery, during the age of slavery. See, there are some expressions in these poems that a lot of people maybe. So this our people don't understand because they think that he's making fun of black folks. But he's not doing that. See, what he's doing, he has to write the period in which he is living. And that's slavery, you see. Okay, and just like Longfellow, see? Longfellow wrote his poems during the time of inspiration, see? And he had to be inspired by the things he saw. Paul Laurence Dunbar had to be inspired by the things that he saw and that was around him. See, now Paul Laurence Dunbar was a freed slave. You know, everybody that during the period of slavery, all black folks weren't slaves. Some of them were able to buy their freedom. See, and then there was some good white people. There had to be some good white people back there, you know, in order for us to survive. You see.
That's right.
But there were Christians, just like we have Christians here, and just like we have, sinners and rough people. See. Now, if you happen to fall in the hands of a rough, a sinner, I might say, see, didn't have that didn't understand, see, then you were in trouble. See. But the church, the Quakers, and the church people were the ones that really saved. And a lot of them acquired slaves, but they freed them and got to pay them. And Paul Laurence Dunbar was a free slave. Now there are some expressions that I'm going to say here that you may think that they're wrong, but they're not, because this was during the time such as dialect, such as darky. You see, now we say darky today, they gonna get on you. See, black folks gonna get on you to say darky. See, and I had a lot of problems at that when I was reciting Paul Laurence Dunbar. I had to explain to the people about, just like I'm explaining to y'all, about the period in which he was writing. See, so now we're going to recite this poem. The first poem we recite is about lies.
Lies.
Before you get started, this is December 25th, 1989.
1989.
The end of a decade.
The end of a decade.
Is that correct? Okay.
The end of a decade. Okay. Now, this poem that I'm about to recite is a mother, and she's a hard-working mother, you see. And the son, he's a little lazy, likes to sleep late at night, at late, you know. And you naturally, you know, when you get in that kitchen, the mother gets in the kitchen, and she gets sweaty, and she gets tired. See, just like Mama used to do us. See, she gets kind of fretty. And then they look in that room and see that boy laying up there asleep. See, it got on her nerves.
Right.
So she began to get on him. She says like this. It starts like this. Lies. No, she started slow, you know. She said, lies. 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 And he just put on a snow, you know. Bless the Lord. Boy, don't you know these days abroad? If you don't get up, you scamp, there'll be some trouble in this camp. Think I'm going to let you sleep while I make your board and keep? That's a pretty how to do. Boy, you hear me? Lies? You? Bet if I come across that floor, you won't have no time to snow. Daylight all a creeping in while you sleep. Why, that's a sin. Get that brush and comb your head. Look just like a feather bed. Look here, boy. I let you see. You can't roll your eyes at me. You done smelled yourself too strong. And you sure done got me wrong. Caroline, run up yonder quick. Fetch me down that stick. Because you done smelled yourself too strong, boy. And you sure done got me wrong. Sit at that table and bow your head. Now wait until that blessing said, Lord have mercy on my soul. Don't you dare touch them rolls. We then eat our bread and meat. You sit still, I see your feet. Give us this year ham to eat. Lord have mercy on our soul. Kind of mixed up enough.
Okay, that's all right.
Give us this your bread to eat.
We done eat our bread
You
and
sit
meat.
still. Don't you try that chick again. Give us joy and peace. Amen.
Amen. That's it. All right.
Now,
then.
don't you try that
Yeah.
trick again. Give
Give
us
us
joy and
peace,
peace,
amen.
amen.
All right. Now, this one I'm going to say is about, boy, you know, I mean, a young man, and he's trying to impressing the other guys about his girlfriend, you know. He want to let them know what a fine girlfriend he has, you know, and whatnot, and he's just trying to, and then his uncle, his uncle's trying to find out who he's going with, you know. So he tries to, and so he explains to the guys how he put it over on his uncle, you know, to let him make him think that he didn't have no girl. See? So here goes the boys. Old Uncle John, he makes me tired. He thinking he's all fine, smart, that he can find out so everything he wants to know. Tried to catch me up last night, but you bet I didn't bite. I just kept the smoothest face. But he led me such a chase. Couldn't figure out, you bet. Just a minute, gotta get back, cause coming to me. Uncle John, he makes me tired. Thinking he's so all-fired smart that he can pick out so everything he wants to know. Tried to catch me up last night. But you bet I didn't bite. I just kept the smoothest face, but I let him such a chase. Couldn't have caught me, you bet. I skipped every trap he set, making out he want to know who was this and that gal's both. So he's finding out, can't you see, who was going along with me. But I answered just as sly, and I never winks my eye till he hollers with a word. Look here, ain't you got no girl? You ought to see me spread my eyes. Like he took me by surprise. Then I said, oh, Uncle John, I never thought of having one. And somehow that seemed to tickle him. And he shelled out a nickel. Just a minute.
So that's good.
Then you ought to see me. Then you ought to see me smile. Just a laughing up my sleeve. Just a laughing up my sleeve. Got a gal? Well, I guess yes. Got a dozen more or less. But I got a really one. Tain't no fooling, no fun. 'Cause she's sweet on me, you see. And I guess, 'cause I'm sweet on her, you see. And I guess that she must be sort of sweet on me. So we's keeping company. And I'll tell you, just a minute, gotta get back to it. Got to understand that these are poems way back.
I know. You're doing good.
So we's keeping company. Just a minute. Couldn't corner me, you bet. But don't you know her? Yeah. Don't you know her? name is Liz. Nicest girl in town she is. Putty, man, oh you get it. Liz a pudding, I knock you silly. You ought to see her when she's dressed. All up in her Sunday's best. All the fellas nudging me and a whispering, "Give me knee." You ought to see her when she's dressed all up in her Sunday's best. All the fellas nudging me and a whispering, "Give me knee." Okay. That's your life that I feels proud. When she passes by the crowd, all the fellas makes you kind of proud to know. I got that one mixed up there now.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Anyway, I'm
That's
gonna get it.
good.
I'm gonna
That's
get it.
good.
I'm gonna get it. Been a long time since I said these things. It's kind of nice to be a going with a girl that makes some showing. One, you know, it ain't no snide. Makes you feel so satisfied. And I tell you, she's a trump. I never even see the jump. Like some girls do when I hide and holler, "Boo!" She just laughs and say, "Get out." What you hollering about? When some girls have a fit, that don't get scared a bit. She never even makes a roll when she sees a worm or cow. Now them kinds few and far between. She's the bravest gal I ever seen. Tell you another thing she'll do. Maybe you won't think it's true. But if she's just got a dime, she'll go half us every time. Oh, you goose, you needn't laugh. That's the kind of girl I have. If you know her like I do, then you kind of like her too. Now, I tell you something. If you swear that you won't tell it anywhere, now, you got to cross your heart. All right, honest and truly before I start. Well, one day, I kissed her cheek. My, but I felt cheap and weak. 'Cause at first, she kind of flared. Ooh, my gracious, I was scared. But I needn't been for long. She didn't even tell them all. Now that's what I call grit, don't you? Such a gal's worth sticking to. All right, that's the. Now this last one I'm going to say.
I don't see how you can remember.
I tell you.
That's way back, way back.
60 or 70 years old.
That's right. That's right.
Now this last one that I'm going to recite is about the party. The party. Now this is a long one, and excuse me if I forget some of the parts, but I'm going to try to say it. This is I remember long ago. Now, as I said, slavery wasn't always bad, you know. It was bad in a way, but then there were some people who lived good, those slaves, who lived better than they did back in Africa. Because, in Africa there was a constant war going on. One tribe would capture the other tribe, you know. And they, in fact, actually, I'm going to be frank with you, I just believe that slavery was a blessing to us black people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
See, it was God's plan to bring us and plant us here in America.
Mm-hmm.
See, now what would happen? Suppose they hadn't brought us over here. Where would we be? What would happen in all that strife over there? All those poor little children were hungry. You know what I mean? See, we can't see God's plan. See, we don't know what God has in mind. But a lot of times we think that why did God suffer us to come in slavery? See, now we can understand what it's all about. You see what I mean? What it's all about. See, his plans are far-fetched.
Yeah.
You see. But he had something in mind. He brought us, he had a slave, we suffered and whatnot, see. But everybody didn't suffer, see. And just like he had the good white people over there who were waiting to rescue us. You know, he had his plan all worked out, see. And when he brought us here, see, he had it fixed where there were some good people. See, now you can just, I hear some of these people talking about want to blame the ancestors, you know, of the white people for what they did back there, see. But they don't understand that was God's plan. See, that was God's plan to get us planted here, see. And it's like I said now, if it wasn't for the Quakers, if it wasn't for the Quakers, if it wasn't for the Christian people, where would we be? We would be right back over there, over in slavery, and doing nothing, making no type of contribution, you see, because now we have made a contribution here in America, see. We've helped, see. So that's, I wanted to say that because we're going to say some things like darky, see, and whatnot, but that was the language of the day. The language of the day. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, these the people we are talking about here. See, there were two classes of people in slavery. See, the people who worked in the house, you know, and the people who worked on the outside.
Right. All right. Okay.
See, the people who worked in the house were the salib. They were the class.
Right.
You see, they were in class. You see. But the people who worked on the outside, see, they had to be contented with the man that they hired. In other words, he was the slave driver, you know, like Simon Decree, see, and whatnot. Now, they didn't. A lot of times they didn't know what was happening. They didn't know what was happening, see, because they put everything in his hands, see, and so that's why we found the Uncle Tom's Cabin, you know, those people that are running from slavery and whatnot, and all that type of thing that you see in slavery, see. Those were the things that, they brought all of that out, but they never said anything about the good things. You know what I mean?
I have, I mean, you know, after I came to Christ, I really was enlightened in that way, and I have often thanked God that He chose me to be born in America, instead of being over there when I see the conditions of those people over there.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I feel that He had certain, maybe people that was good people that would love Him and would worship Him. He brought that over here.
Brought them over here. That's right.
And I mean, a lot of times they talk about the with this and that. Honey, you're blessed.
That's
you
right.
just don't know it.
That's right.
See?
And to Boo and Craig and all of you all, I want to tell you this. You see. Now, we were your descendants. We are descendants, direct descendants from the Zulu tribe. Zulu tribe. That's the tribe that we were. Now, Grandma told us that. See, Grandma told us that. And our grandmother, she was a slave that was freed. She was a slave that was freed during the period of slavery. See. Now, as I said, slavery wasn't all that bad. Because
How old was she? How old was she?
Grandma was, how old was Grandma Mary? She was,
I don't know, she must have been a
she
young woman.
she was around 90 years old
Well,
when she died. When she died. Oh, when she,
when she was
no,
free.
she came over, they came over
I think she was as a child.
as a child. She came over as a child on the Matilda. You know, the last slaves that was landed here in Mobile, right here in Mobile. They got a plaque right down there next to the Alabama Power Company. You see that complex down? It's a complex down there where they kept the slaves. You see, and when they come in, they would and they got a plaque up there where the last boatload of slaves arrived. See, but she told us, like Edmund, she told Edmund all those things. She taught him those things, and he told us about it. That's our oldest brother. See, and she came over. She was lucky to get with good white people. Her grandparents, you know, great grandparents were lucky to get with good white people. The Browns and the Escos, I think they were.
Yes.
And they kept up with us. I mean, they sent after they left, they sent us food. I mean, sent us clothes every year. They would send us big bags of clothes, big box of clothes. We would look forward to that. You know what I mean? Because they realized that they loved Grandma. See, and she was lucky to get with some of the best of the white people.
And she even worked for them.
And she
She worked until she got too old.
She worked until she got too old. That's right. See, and she probably would have if slavery was going on now. She would probably.
Now, is this the one that's real light skinned that we have a photograph of?
No, I think you're talking about Cousin Mary. You reckon this?
I think about Cousin Mary.
Cousin Mary. See, now she was adopted. She was adopted by Grandma. What?
That her mother. Now, cousin, it goes what to say. Here goes the date underneath with Cousin Mary, grandma's sister, and cousin was Cousin Mary's mother. But Grandma took Cousin Mary and reared her because Cousin Mary's mother was in the red light district, and she went and got her out of. You know, she didn't want her over in that red light district with her mother. So Grandma took her and reared her herself, you know, brought her out of that red light district. That's what happened.
What?
I'm asking the history of
Grandma, why Cousin Mary, why Grandma reared Cousin Mary. Cousin Mary's mother, you know, she lived in the red light district. And so she just
Up there around Canal Street.
And over there in St. Francis, you know.
Yeah.
So she, you know, she lived in one of the houses, and they and the reason Cousin Mary was as fair as she is was because her daddy was one of the captains come off the ship, and that's why she was.
All I got to do is think about
That's why she's at.
Weed and them too. I don't know who Carrie had all the children for.
She had them for. She all them down there, you know, by the.
you see the south, down here, down the bay. You just mixed. They
mixed anyway.
See, they mixed anyway. They didn't pay no attention. There's more mixing then than it is now.
It is now because even now on the corner from us, it used to be. You know, I remember when Bishop Smith's aunt and this white man was living together on the corner from us.
Yeah, that's right.
They lived together, and he took care of her until she, you know, he died.
So that was a common thing. You see what I mean?
And our neighborhoods was mixed.
Yeah.
Huh?
And so.
Okay.
And so.
I got everything out.
Okay. Well,
Hey,
go ahead.
wait a minute, we're gonna finish this story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I just want to let you all know from your heritage from which you came. Now, I don't know much about about Mama's part. The only part I know about my mother is that she was her father was a Cherokee Indian. You know what I mean? So you see, so you got African blood and and Indian blood. Tell me, Mary.
Mama's mother's mother was Indian, and her father, her mama's mother's mother was an Indian, and her father was Englishman.
Irish. That's right. Irishman.
So she was mama's mother was a half breed. She was not, she was not a Negro at all. She was a half breed. See, but where you going?
Round the corner.
Oh.
See my girls, I'll be right back.
Her mother was a half breed. So, and her mother died when she was 7 years old. She had 2 brothers, and evidently they had to be real fair because I've never known no black jockeys. But her brothers was jockeys. Both of them was jockeys. and then cousin Mary, she was real fair. I mean, Aunt Martha was real fair, with kind of red hair. So and Mama.
My great granddad raced trotters. You know, those two-wheel buggies. You know, in Missouri back around the turn of the century. I never did know him.
Well, so Mama's.
My dad used to talk about it.
Yeah. And Mama's brothers must have been real small, because both of them was jockeys.
They were jockeys, and then
So
he,
must have been real
her
fast.
oldest brother, Eddie, his name was Eddie Harris. He was a big gambler. He gambled. He went down to New Orleans to gamble, you know, and he always had plenty of money. I remember saying he always had plenty of money. Come back with hats full of money. You know what I mean? Otherwise, he was just like on those boats that go down and river boats. He was one on that.
She said one of them was blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
See,
said
and
one of them was blonde. I knew she said that.
and then her daddy was he had a what, you know, but he was had a horse, you know, hold, you know, he had a team of horses and whatnot.
He was a hack driver.
Hack driver, that's what
He was. He drove
hack driver,
hacks.
that's right.
Okay.
See, so, Boo, we want to let y'all know, and Craig, we want to let y'all know from whence you came. So now, I'm going to go on to it. You want to go on with this poem, or do you want me to?
I'm just checking the camera.
Okay.
We're going to wish these girls a Merry Christmas, don't we? We're going to get in there and say, come on, right now. Merry Christmas, Ashley and Brittany.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas from your great-grandmama Ashley and Brittany.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas from your uncle, who is going to dedicate this poem to you.
That's right. Merry Christmas, girls. This your grandpa, this your grandma, this your great-grandma, and this is your great-uncle, your great-uncle. Oh, great-great-uncle. Great-great-uncle.
Up there someplace.
I'm there somewhere.
This Uncle Lenard, don't y'all forget that, girls.
They can't forget Uncle Lenard. Okay, now this poem is going to be pretty long now.
Okay.
If y'all want to wait until after? I'll
Yeah,
You
we're
gonna
going to
wait
wait
until
because
after
Yvonne gone
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
She
wait. Okay.
gone around
All right,
the-
I'll recite this poem after we eat.
A white
After we
woman
finish.
said to me, she said, Teresa, if I ask you something, would you get mad?
Oh, sure.
Can't see you.
This Ike.
It's on. Okay. All right.
Oh, my goodness. That's right. Okay.
This poem that I'm about to recite, this is The Party by Paul Lawrence Campbell. Now, in order to be able to understand what it's all about, I have to bring you up to the present time. You know, these people who are attending this party, they are the elite. They are the elites in the slave period. They're the people that worked in the house. They didn't associate with the people who worked on the fields. See? And they were what we might say the society people. In other words, this was a big party. And it's just like you can imagine, just like the Utopians. You know, when the Utopians had a party,
Yes.
if you were invited to the Utopians party, you were somebody.
That's right.
And the same here. Now, this is a party, this is a conversation between two people. One had been to the party. Evidently, she was there for the first time, and she was trying to make an impression on the person who wasn't there.
All right.
See? And so here's the way it goes, you know. They meet on the corner, and she comes out, she says, you know, they had a great big party down at Tombs the other night. Was I there? You bet. I never in my life see such a sight. All the folks from 4 plantations was invited, and they come, tricking thick as chillums when they hears a piping drum. Everybody dressed to fineness, and child, but your mouth and get away. Never seen such fancy dressing since last quarter's meeting day. Gals all dressed in silks and satins, not a wrinkle nor a crease. Eyes are batting, teeth are shining, hair brushed back as slick as grease. And men's all dressed in Princess Alberts. Swallowtails to take your breath. Shoot, I can't tell you nothing about it. You ought to have been there for yourself. Who was there? Now, who you asking? How you expect I going to know? You must think I stood and counted everybody at the door. Well, old man Abner's houseboy, Isaac, he brung that gal Melinda Jane, clinging to his elbow, and him a strutting with a cane. My, but Harvey Jones was jealous. Charlie seemed to stick him like a thorn. But he laughed with Viney Carter, trying hard to not let on. But a person could have noticed from the direction of his looks that he was watching every step at Ike and Linda too. Ike, he finds a chair and asks, "Won't you sit down?" with a smile. And she answers up, bowing, "Well, I reckon take you a while." That was style, I reckon. But she sit down just the same. And she stayed there till he fetched her for the joining of the game. Then I heard her saying proper as she riz to go away. "Oh, you really must excuse me if I hardly care to play. But I'll see you in a minute with the others on the floor." And there wasn't narrow one of them a dancing anymore. Coming down the floor, a swinging, a dancing and a swinging, putting on her high-tuned manners all the time as she was singing. "Oh, Johnny, oh, Johnny, oh, Johnny, oh, what makes me love you so? You're not handsome, it's true, but when I look at you, I say, oh, Johnny, oh, Johnny, oh." Of course, that had to laugh at old man Johnson. Yeah, old man Johnson, he's a caution now, you bet, hitting close on to 100. But he's spry and nimble yet. How so, he loud, sort of giggling. "I ain't old, I let you see. Can't no use in being old these days. Now you youngsters just watch me." And he grabs old Aunt Marie, weighing 300 more or less, and he swung around the cabin, singing Johnny like the rest. Everybody laughed and hollered, "Go on, swing, Uncle Jim." And he swung her too, I reckon, like a youngster who but him. But of course, that was better than young Ike Thompson, trying to be so awfully smart, you know. You know, when they get to singing, and they come to that air part where it says, "In some lady's garden, in a new brick house, if you don't let me out, I will jump out. So fare you well, my darling." Well, they build a circle around you, and you've got to break the line. Well, that darky was so anxious, like the bus itself a trying. Kept on blundering around and fooling till he gives one great big jump, broke the line and lit head foremost in the fireplace with a plump. Hit it fire, it mind you. And I thought my soul would bust. Tried my best to keep from laughing, but it seemed that die I must. You ought to see that man a-scrambling mid them ashes and that grime. Did it burn him? Such a question. Why, he didn't give it time. Throw them ashes and them cinders every which way, I guess. And I reckon if you had been there, you'd never in your mind seen such a mess. But he certainly made a picture, and a funny one to boot, with his clothes all full of ashes and his face all full of soot. Well, it stopped our party. And I reckon it would have not if Tom's wife Mandy hadn't happened on the spot to invite us out to supper. Well, we scrambled to the table. And child, I'd like to tell you about it, what we had, but I ain't here. Of course now, I'll mention just a few things, though I know I hadn't ordered. Because I know you'll start a hankering and your mouth will mince the water. We had corn pone, white as cotton, egg bread just like gold, hog jar boiled and steam hot, and roast shout, and ham sliced cold. What's the matter with you? Don't be falling all on the floor. If it's gonna affect you that way, I ain't gonna tell you nothing more. All right, straighten up there now. That's right, that's better. Well, we had hot chillings. Now you're trying for again to fall. Can't you stand to hear about it? Suppose you'd been there and seen it all. See them great big sweet potatoes laying by that possum side. See that coon in all his gravy. Ring, then you'd up and die. You know, Mandy, she loud. Y'all must excuse me. I didn't have much left on the shelves, but I tried my best to please you. Now just sit down and help yourselves. Tom, he loud. I don't believe in no apologizing in profession. Let them catch it like they, let them catch it as they come. Elder Thompson asked the blessing. Child, you ought to see that colored preacher bow his head, close his eyes, and bow his head. One eye shut and one eye open. And here is every word he said. Lord, look down in tender mercy on such generous hearts as these. Make us true and thankful. Amen. Pass that possum, if you please. Well, we ate and drank our potions till there wasn't nothing left. And we all felt like new sausages, everybody stuffed to death. Tom, he knew how we'd be feeling, so he had the fiddler around. He made us clear that cabin floor for to dance that supper down. To Jim the fiddler, tune his fiddle, put some rosin, he's a fiddler now, I tell you. Put some rosin on the bowl, laid his pine box on the table, he mounted her and let her go. He's a fiddler now, I tell you, and he made that fiddle ring. Till the oldest and the lamest had to give their foot a slave. Crippled Joe, you know Crippled Joe, that old romantic child, he danced that floor from end to middle. Throwed away that crutch and hopped it. What's romantic against a fiddle? And Charles Elder Thompson, he got so tickled that he like to lost his grace. Had to take both feet and hold them for to keep in their place. And the Christians and the sinners got so mixed up on that floor. Till I don't see how in the world did a party that the trumpet chance to blow. Well, we danced around and capsuled in that most ridiculous way. Till the rooster in the barnyard cleared his throat and crowed for day. Sure, Taylor used to be talking about it. Everything was rich and prime. You just ought to have been there, for I tell you, we just had one scrumptious time.
Thank you, thank you. You hear that, girls?
Okay.
That is wonderful. Thank you, thank you.
All right, hope y'all enjoyed that.
That's right,
And
that's right.
So
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
and a happy New Year.
New Year, that's
A
right.
real happy one. We'll close this one out with just touch of reality.
Okay.
This was by, this is not Paul Laurence Dunbar.
Okay.
This is by Longfellow.
Okay.
Tell me not in mournful murmurs that life is but an empty dream, and the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, and life is earnest, and the soul and the grave is not its goal. Dust thy art to dust returning was not spoken of the soul. For lives of great men all remind us that we can make our lives sublime, and in parting leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Footprints that perhaps another, standing on life's solemn main, some bereft and shipwrecked brethren, seen, will take heart again. So let us then be up and doing with a heart for any faith, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Amen. Thank you. That's
Okay,
great.
all
That's
right.
good. That is very good.